Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180. I am actually up on vacation right now, finishing my book, but in the process, I actually, just getting back from a 16-day road trip, going to different events, speaking a little bit, attending events, getting to interview and build some collaborations with some of the best, content creators, best people making an impact in the financial space right now. One of these people that I want to talk about is Brian Page. Now, I brought his book up here. I got one of his pre-released copies of his book when I met with him and when I interviewed him. And if you haven't seen the original interview that I did with Brian Page, I'm going to link it right up above here, and make sure I'll put the link down below so you can get a free copy of this book when it comes out. I think it's releasing on November 8th. When it does come out, make sure you get a free copy of it, or not a free copy, but just make sure to go get a copy of it because it is an extremely, extremely phenomenal book. Now, full transparency, I am 53 pages into this thing. I read it last night after spending my day, taking time to do all this stuff and reading or writing my own book. When I got to bed last night, I decided to read for a bit, and I honestly couldn't put this thing down. One of the things that I read in the book that I just wanted to share, I wanted to do this video on, because it's not my original thought, although it's something I've thought about a lot, but he put it so succinctly, and I really loved it. On chapter 7, he talks about get-rich-quick schemes. Now, I think a lot of us have heard of the phrase get rich quick, and there's a lot of people that fall kind of prey to that mindset of falling into get rich quick schemes. A lot of people think that they can do that. Here's the deal: there's a lot of get rich quick schemes that are not legitimate, and I think it's always wise to make sure you're protecting yourself against what I would call like a pyramid scheme or any kind of scheme that doesn't take a lot of effort on your behalf. If you think you're going to get rich without putting a lot of effort in, I think that's obviously not reasonable, and you just shouldn't expect that to garner any results for you in your life. However, what he talked about here is that it's really interesting that somewhere in the middle, I guess he didn't say it like this, but what he talked about was get rich quick versus get rich slow schemes. And it seems like everybody in the country has bought into the concept of get rich slowly. If you have fallen into the trap of what Robert Kiyosaki would call the rat race, where you're putting money aside, you're saving, you think you're going to be able to save and contribute to a 401k or a qualified plan or anything of that nature for 40 to 45 years and be able to retire and maintain your standard of living. Well, the statistics show that most people that are trying to follow that path are not succeeding with it. But let's say you even could follow that path and succeed with it, and you knew 45 years from now, 45 years from the day that you started working, from 22 years old when you got out of college to 67 years old when the average person retires right now, that you could get there, you could maintain your standard of living, and that was what. Guess what? I don't know about you, but I have no interest in living a get-rich slow plan, right? And that's not even getting rich, that's just trying to maintain your standard of living. And what's interesting is, while a lot of people obviously have a lot of skepticism around get-rich-quick schemes, I think people have fallen prey to the get-rich-slow scheme that is ultimately making your broker wealthy. It's giving the government control of your money. It's putting you in a position where you're not ultimately in control of one of the most important elements of your life, which is your own personal financial success. And so what this book talks about and what I talk about and what I'm up here writing about is my second version of cash flow hacking, because I think it's so important that people start investing for cash flow. And I think it's so important that people start taking control of their financial life, because think about it this way: where in life do you outsource your success in something that's as important as your money is to you, right? You don't do it. You're not gonna, like, if I have a problem with my wife, right? If I have a problem with my marriage, I'm not going to outsource that and try to think somebody else is going to fix my problems. If my kids are having problems, I'm not going to outsource my role as a parent. If I'm having challenges in my faith and all that stuff, I'm not going to think that I could just outsource that and have somebody else solve my problems. Well, guess what? Money is the same thing, yet somehow, some way, some people have been duped. Most people have been duped into thinking that I'm just going to give my money to a person. They're the expert. They're the pro. I'm going to have trust. I'm going to have faith in them. And I'm going to give them the money. I'm going to out of sight, out of mind. And I'm going to somehow expect that I'm going to get a positive result. Yet I'm not going to take any responsibility, any accountability, to get the results in my life that I know that I'm after. And so one of the things that I talk to people about all the time is that you are where you are in life because of who you are in life. And that's you, that's me, that's every single person on this earth. And there's no judgment in that. Listen, we're all on a journey, right? Like I'm on a journey, you're on a journey, I hope. And in that journey, we need to be as intentional about what we're trying to accomplish as possible, right? And so we are where we are because of who we are. And my challenge to you, my encouragement to you is that money is such an important tool in life to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish, to be able to live the life that you want to live. Money's not everything, right? But it is. I can't remember who said it. Somebody said, I can't remember who the quote is. I wish I could credit them for this, but money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen, right? Yeah, it's not everything. It doesn't buy you happiness, but it does provide you the ability to live a life that you want to live, right? And so, and it provides you the ability to show up differently and to give back and to have the time freedom. And so one of the things that Brian talks about in this that I preach all the time as well, and I'm really passionate about, is people think about trying to go after a number and saving $1 million, becoming a millionaire, saving $2 million, whatever that number is. But the bottom line is we need to stop thinking about trying to accumulate masses and sums of money, because how much money we have doesn't really matter. That number may shift. $1 million today is not worth what $1 million was 20 years ago. So if you started your journey to become a millionaire 20 years ago, you got to become a millionaire today, even if you did after 20 years, which would be pretty successful for most people in this country. Even if you found success in that capacity, you're going to get there with $1 million, reaching your goals, but because you weren't specifically intentional about what you wanted that $1 million to do for you, or you didn't have the clarity about what that $1 million could do for you with the environmental changes, you're now getting here and it's probably not providing you the lifestyle that you thought it would have provided you for, right? And provided for you, I should say. And so that said, I think it's really, really important to think about the first objective shouldn't be a number. It should be actually obtaining financial freedom, right? It should be obtaining what I call your freedom number, right? And I call it your freedom number because what matters most is not how much money we have, it's what our money is going to do for us. And so when we invest for cash flow, A, it forces us to become much more actively involved with what we're doing, but B, it puts us in a situation where rather than running the rat race for 45 years, we can put ourselves in a situation where we can reach financial freedom by having enough passive income in the next 10 years or so to be able to have that freedom and to replace our income. And once we are financially independent, right, which is having enough cash flow to pay for our lifestyle, we now become job optional. We now have the ability to take a step back and live more intentionally. That's why my company is called Life 180, living intentionally for excellence. We're now able to show up and operate more intentionally, being able to live the life that we want to live, being able to give back, become more, dedicate more time to ourselves, because having that time freedom, once you have that financial independence, once you have that money coming in every single month, where you don't have to have a paycheck, you don't have to show up and punch a clock. How much different would your life look right now if you didn't have to go to work? What would your life look like differently? What could you create? What kind of impact could you make with your family, with your church, with your community, with a mission that you serve, with a nonprofit that you serve, with just creating more value into the world for you? If you're somebody like me that believes that you have something to give to the world, what would your life look like if you had 25 to 40 or 50 or 60 hours extra a week for free? I'm going to tell you that I believe that every single person watching this video has a call on their life to be able to go do something like that. It is our responsibility to do what we can to get to where we want to go so we can make that impact in our life, right? In the world around us, right? And so once again, I'm going to go back to we are where we are because of who we are. And if you really want to elevate yourself and you want to be able to pour back into yourself to be able to become more so you can serve more and be more, the only way to do that is by focusing on cash flow investing, focusing on mastering your skills, not being passive with your strategy, being super active with your strategy, active with your education, so you can become passive with the income and the investments that come through. But you're not going to get there overnight. There is no get rich quick scheme. There is no fast path to success from a macro level. I guess when you break it down, 10 years is a fast path, right? Most people though way overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. And if you just follow a cash flow strategy, that's why I created cash flow hacking. If you follow that cash flow strategy, you can accomplish the results that you're after in a much more compressed time frame just by becoming more and keeping your time focused in the right areas, on the right areas, with the right investment vehicles, the right investment strategies, and the right saving strategies before you go and invest. And I got a ton of other videos that I talk about that kind of stuff. If you're interested, make sure you click down below, hit the subscribe button. That way you're notified every time I launch a new video, because I got a lot of content that I have in the past. Go check it out. I'll put a playlist at the end in the end screen here that you can click on if you want to go down the rabbit hole a little bit, take the red pill, learn a little bit more about that philosophy. I would really encourage every single person to do that. But that's it. So once again, don't fall prey to the get rich quick scheme, but also don't fall prey to the get rich slow scheme. There is a happy medium. It is going to take you becoming more so you can accomplish what you want and what you were called to do on this earth. That's what I believe. And so my energy is a little lower than normal. I'm just really peaceful and really tranquil out here. You can't really see around me, but I'm at like 7,500 feet in the mountains of Arizona, enjoying the peace and the quiet. Cool air, crisp air. It's amazing. Got elk running all around me here. It's pretty awesome. But I'll be doing more content here. Guys, I appreciate you. If you're following this channel, if you think anybody would benefit from this, please share it out. Please share this with people. If you have any questions at all, comment in the comment section below. I'll do my best to engage with every single one of them, as always. Until next video, have a blessed and inspirational day. We'll talk soon. See ya.